sense of the nonsense. And yeah, I just started the live stream and set it up to be horizontal, and it ended up starting it vertically, so I had to start it over again. Anyway, welcome to tonight's show. Yeah, I hope you ain't got no place to go, so you can just chill with me. So let me do this first, as I always do, and check and see if the notifications have gone out, because you never know with these guys. So let's see here. Did KF get one yet? No, not yet. I see I got one from Don. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, or is this a comment on mine? Hold on, wait, let's see who. Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, stop and think about it. Yeah, I see my partner uploaded a clip. Yeah, when I was talking about transgenders. And yeah, so that means you got to go over there also and subscribe to my alternative channel. Stop and think about it. I'm sitting here watching it right now. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Look good, don't it? Look good. Yeah. That's where you get all your shorts from. You get your shorts from. Now, with that being said, let me go ahead and see if I got a notification for this channel. Because, you know, right now, yep, bam, got one. Got one. See, bam. And look at that, y'all, a commercial. See, this is how I try to pay some of the bills right there. Now I got to let this commercial run. You know what I'm saying? I got to let it run. Because, I mean, you never know with YouTube. Never know with YouTube. So I got to let that play out. But anyway, while I'm doing that, I see some of y'all are logging on from other places. I see Florida in the house. Other day, I saw Puerto Rico in the house. I mean, it's amazing when I get a chance to see all of the people who watch the show from around the globe. It's not just, all right, we watch Kevin's Corner from right around the corner. I'm talking about overseas and things like that, which is, you know, it's flattering. I appreciate it. Now, let's give it a few more seconds for the algorithms to catch on and say, all right, let's send this stuff out. I missed y'all yesterday. My fault. But I'm back here today to make up for it. Now, oh, that's odd. I guess they thought that I wanted to buy something on that commercial. And they just straight launched me to the site. Like, well, you going to buy it or what? You saw the commercial. You going to buy something or what? Don't just be stopping by. Don't come in and let's be looking. You buy. You buy now. Don't look. You buy. Yeah. So anyway, how's everybody doing? It's Friday night. Not sure what you got planned tonight, but I hope it's to have a good time and not get caught up in the hoopla. You don't want to do that. Don't get caught up in the hoopla. Yeah, so hopefully you're right on the edge of shenanigans, meaning I'm having fun, but not too much fun. Yeah, I kicked the ball, but I didn't kick it over the fence so far that I can't go get it. I've done that before in my life. Y'all ever done that? When you kick the ball so far over the fence, you just like, oh man, forget it. I'm just gonna buy another ball, man. It's too far out. Yeah, you don't want that. So happy, hey Kev and fam from Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta G8. Telling you, Atlanta's a great place, but it's a horrible place at the same time. Oh, it'll suck you in if you ain't careful. Yeah. I almost had to have some people come get me from Atlanta many years ago when I was a young boy. Went down there working on a film project with somebody for about a month. Almost never came home. Yeah, I was like, all right, somebody gonna have to come get me. Because, I mean, it's like letting your dog off the leash around the neighborhood. And you're like, do I got to go get you? Do I got to go get you? So, yeah, I had a good time. That was one of those times where I kicked the ball so far over the fence that I couldn't go get it. Yeah, buddy. But I'm better now. Now I just hang around the house and, if I was a dog, they'd be like, go on out and use the bathroom. No, I'm good. I'm just going to pee over here on this pad. Yeah. I can see people are logging in, so I might as well go ahead, hit the like button on my own chat, and get loose. So let's get busy. Central PA? Real Godzilla. There's some things in the building. Gorillas in here. Somebody said, oh my gosh, Friday Night Live. That's right. Yeah, we got us a Friday. Boom, boom, getting paid. Boom, boom, Friday night. Boom, boom, parties jumping. Whoa, whoa. Let me bring it back to the middle. Oh, there we go. There we go. So yeah, we got a couple things to talk about, but first, don't forget to hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other platforms, please, and text MAGA to this number right here if you can. That's 330-974-4607. It's the number you can text MAGA to stay in touch with Kevin, just in case they disappear me off this platform. And also, if you want to support the channel through my Cash App and my PayPal link, you can do that. The links are below each video, which, if you ever wanted to support Kevin from Kevin's Corner, this would be a great time to do it. Normally, I don't make too much of a fuss about it. However, I suffered a catastrophic occurrence. My laptop, the one I use to bring all of the laughs to you. Yes, it's dead. It's dead. So I'm working right now basically off of an IBM 1982 IBM floppy disk. And it looks like I'm gonna have to replace it. So I'm having my help Kevin replace his laptop foundation going on this way. If you guys ever want to support the channel, you can do it through my Cash App, my PayPal link. It'll go towards me having to buy a laptop. Man, these things are expensive. I mean, they're great. Don't get me wrong. The Apple laptops, the MacBook Pro is great. I fought it forever. I was a PC guy forever. I was like, man, I ain't doing that. That's like driving on the other side of the road. And I finally got one, and it makes a ton of difference when it comes down to editing, proficiency, how fast the thing processes, how convenient it is. And yeah. And of course, all my other PCs just broke down eventually. The Mac didn't get no viruses, nothing. I mean, I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm a believer. I haven't switched though over to Apple phones. Still an Android guy. But yeah, right about now, I done built my whole operation around Mac, and just so have it, my Mac went down. So yeah, like I said, that's the new campaign I'm running. Help Kevin replace his laptop foundation. Now, did I miss anything? Subscribe to the alternative. I think I'm good. Let's get into some shenanigans tonight, because apparently there's a lot of hoaxing going on. Oh, thank you. Somebody just dropped 50 in there. I appreciate that. That's right. We got 50. Can we get 60, 65, 70, 75? Thinking we got 80, 85. I wish I could do that. Them dudes be flowing. 25, 35, 35. They make you mess around and bid something you think you bidding on, but they done went up to about 2,000 or 3,000 more numbers. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. I was bidding at 500, and before you can even get your bid in, they at 5,000. Give me the 500, 5,000. You be like, yeah, 500. No, you just bid 5,000. So anyway, yeah, let's get into this real quick because we got a lot of hoaxing going on, a lot of lying in our media, and it's unfortunate because we've seen over the years how these lies have impacted our society, have warped the mind of simple-minded people that have brains of gnats that fly around my room for some reason, messing with me. And I'm going, do you have a gnat brain? Are you falling for all of that and shenanigans? And they do these things in ways that almost are belittling to your intelligence if you are an intelligent person. See, problem is, we as intelligent people, when we see it, we're going, you know what? You think I'm stupid. You trying to belittle my intelligence. But to the ones that don't realize that they lack that intelligence, they're just believers. They just buy it and they fall for it and they believe it. And I'm saying, you can't be offended because you're a victim. You can't be offended because you are an ignorant victim. You have no idea that they're manipulating you in front of your face. It would be different if they were smooth criminals. Yeah, but they're not even smooth criminals. Which brings me to this first clip right here. Look at this right here. Unbelievable.
Yeah, things have been lively here. While that Turning Point USA event is still happening inside Protesters have been out here for hours. You can see them still here behind me. They have been chanting, just a very, very lively scene out here. While things have been mostly peaceful, there have been some tense moments. Earlier this evening, there was a scuffle that broke out.
A scuffle.
Two men started fighting.
Look at that.
Berkeley police had to break up that interaction.
Now, this is why it is so belittling to our intelligence. See, they like to do stuff like show you the opposite. I feel like I'm going crazy. I think I saw something blinking. They like to do things like show you the opposite of what they're talking about. See, that's the belittling of your intelligence. That's the offensive part. It's been mostly peaceful protests, but I'm going to show you a whole barn fire in the background. Is it just me? Hold on. Aha. Wait a minute. I might have a bad. There we go. Yeah. I was tripping, man. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I going crazy? But yeah, they will show you a full-blown, contrast in the background. People be fighting in the background, folks shooting, smoke bombs going off, and they're still looking you in the face telling you it's mostly peaceful protester. Then they'll show you the clips. Earlier today was a fight that broke out, and I'm going, you could have left that out. You put that clip in there just for the belittling of the intelligence. You're like, let's see if we actually cover the violence, and we start off by telling them they're mostly peaceful protesters. Yeah, just to see who buys it. So they're showing us the mostly peaceful protesters that broke out into a brawl.
Later, someone was throwing smoke bombs.
Are you kidding me? Just smoke bombs? Really? And, oh yeah, the violent Antifa thugs attacking people attending a Turning Point USA event.
So Turning Point USA had an event. People came out, and sure enough, the freaks came out too. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out the freaks come out. So the freaks come out, and they start doing what they do. Instead of minding their own business and letting folks enjoy whatever event they want to enjoy, they got to always show up to poop on the party. Party poopers. Nobody wants these people in society. It would be one thing if this wasn't a planned, scheduled event where you got folks that's going to come into the event to ask some questions maybe, and then you got people who come out to support the event, and you just let that happen. But no, not these people. Nah, see, in their mind, anything that is different from their opinion or their view, they need to go out and stop it. They don't want to just protest it. They want to stop it. They don't want to bring an opposite opinion to whatever the event is taking place, stands for. No. We're here to shut it down. That goes to you that they have a Marxist mentality. That's what it is. They have a let's burn it all down mentality. And if we can't control it, if it ain't promoting our shenanigans, if it ain't one of our comrades, we're there to burn it down. And then they make sure that they send out their weak, feeble, skinny folks that can't fight to target other folks that maybe aren't that great of a fighter as well, or overwhelming people, couple dudes on one person. I'm waiting to see the day where we send a whole bunch of pipe-hitting hardcore dudes out there to one of these events. Send me and a couple of the bros that I know out there. And I want to see if Antifa is going to come to us and be like, you fascists, you white supremacists, and stuff like that. They like to go out there and pick on people that they know they can get away with. And it burns me up. And then the news doesn't cover it. They get up there and lie to us about Antifa's not even real. Unbelievable.
That's characterized as mostly peaceful. As for her claim that just two men were fighting, well, that was wrong too. One man, a lefty called Jihad, allegedly...
A lefty called Jihad. Where do you get these people? How does one sign up to be an Antifian anyway? Where does your mind have to be for you to go, you know what? I've been reading some information about this group right here called Antifa. So instead of focusing on my career, focusing on getting out of my mom's basement, I think I'm going to join this group and fight for freedom or something like that. You know what? You got to lack intelligence to even join that group. And when you see the type of people that are a part of it, you can tell right there. These are young, ignorant folks that's detached from reality. They got a problem with society. A lot of them look like they're on drugs, and they just want to be a part of something. Burn it all down, man. Fight the system because, see, I can't fit into the system. That's the problem. When I can't operate in the system, when I can't take advantage of all of the opportunities that the system provides for me, then I want to burn it down. That's what I want to do. So let's continue hearing about this very mostly peaceful protest.
Allegedly attacked the victim who was left bloodied. And I say allegedly because he's already been arrested and
Well,
charged
look at
with
that.
assault.
Turning Point USA should not be here, and they are like a fascist organization.
Says the fascist. Says the person who says Turning Point USA shouldn't be here. Only a fascist would say that. Only somebody who thought that, you know what, give us the power to determine what's allowed and what's not, who's allowed to speak, who's not, what is truth, what's not truth. And she's saying Turning Point that shouldn't be here. It's a fascist. This is the type of person that would be involved in Antifa. These are the type of people that the Democrats target because they know they're stupid. This woman right here doesn't even realize she's the fascist by talking about they shouldn't be here because they don't believe what we believe. Unreal. And Democrats take advantage of these people. And that is why Kamala Harris the other day during my live stream, I showed y'all a clip where she was asking to lower the voting age to 16. Why? Because you get a whole bunch of people like this. Young, impressionable people who think I got to fight against the man. I got to fight against the system. And all you're really doing is fighting for the Democrat Party. But unfortunately, now they've created a very interesting arm of their party. They got a lot of these people now that are migrating towards people like Zoran the Moron and AOC. These folks are seriously like, we're comrades. We're wanting to be a part of the socialist movement. A socialist movement. And the other Democrats who egged this on and tolerated it, now it looks like they might be in trouble. That's the part that they sit there and go, we might get primaried. It looks like we on the run in our own party because we encourage this mess. We've allowed these type of people to operate with impunity for years, ever since Trump got elected. They've been doing stuff like this, and now they feel emboldened.
And nobody here agrees with what they are saying. And
Wow. You see arrogance in that? Nobody believes. So as popular as Turning Point is, and as many times as I've seen people come out to, you know what, why I oughta, it's gonna be problems and big trouble in Little China. Stupid. Big trouble in Little. You're gonna learn to respect me in my house, light. Tell him I'm gonna jump on that light like a spider monkey. Anyway, so you hear this woman? Nobody supports this. The arrogance in that statement is unbelievable. You really think that you got a patent on beliefs? Nobody.
And obviously, Charlie Kirk has been a big issue with like a lot of college campuses and people on college campuses. So we just think obviously, I didn't really follow him a lot, but
I didn't even follow him a lot. I'm just going off of what I've been told because I'm a liberal. I'm a full-blown Muppet. I'm a puppet. That's what I'm a puppet. Yeah, don't know what he's talking about, but I didn't really follow him a lot, but he was a fascist, white supremacist. That's what they tell me. Man, this is where we're at in society. These are the people, man, this walking amongst us. You never know when you might be next to one until you look over, though, and you see that big fat nose ring in that ear. Yeah, you start seeing some purple streaks through the hair. You might start to do some, this might be a live one. This might be a live one. But now the person who really didn't follow him is saying he's a fascist. We shouldn't be here and all of this stuff. And nobody believes him. Nobody.
Knowing what he did and knowing the things that he was saying, it's just like vile and disgusting. So
yeah, vile and disgusting, but I can't tell you what he said because I didn't follow him like that. That's where we're at. Vile and disgusting, but I don't know what he said because I didn't really follow him like that. But yeah. But this was the event, though, that the media said it was mostly peaceful.
We don't want to support his organization, and I don't think that the Berkeley chancellor should have let
You're not going to follow.
I don't think that the Berkeley, the administration should have even allowed this event to take place. Now, what would society be like if we let these people run our country? We'd be like Europe right about now. There you go. Let one group of people do whatever they want, scream as loud as they want, whatever religion they want to have. Then the other folks tell them to get rid of the flag, the country that they live in, I guess. Don't talk about patriotism. Don't mention you're a natural born citizen. Shut your mouths. Don't get on the internet and say, hey, look, I got a problem with all of these. No, you can't do that. Nah. So let one group of people just do whatever they want, say whatever they want, believe whatever they want, and the other group got to shut up and either become a part of this group or be quiet and mind your business until we come after you for something else. So that's how they're rolling over there in Looney Land, and we're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. We have to get society to course correct and get back to a point where folks left other folks alone. See, I mean, if you haven't been personally offended, and if it's not something that's going on that directly is hurting people, why are you getting all dressed up to come down there and protest? I mean, back in the day, protest meant something. It meant something. Nowadays, it's an event. It's what they do instead of going out to party. Are you going to the protest tomorrow? Absolutely, I'll be there. What you wearing? What you wearing? Is it all white protest? All right, we're going with all white. And I'm saying, good grief, y'all diluted protesting. Y'all protest over everything. Y'all diluted protesting. Y'all diluted all of the impactful labels that you can throw on somebody as a sexist, xenophobe, homophobe, racist, white nationalist. And I'm going, none of these things at this point mean anything to me. I'm sitting there saying, okay, another white nationalist, another Nazi. Speaking of, though, the left, you see this guy right here? You see this guy? Just give you a background on this guy before we talk about what's going on with him. Check it out. Y'all remember him? Fartwell on TV.
Law, it's time for people to start having consequences. For far too long allowed this president and his underlings to continue to obstruct. And when we lose the rule of law in America, it's not just a concept, it's everything.
It's everything. Everything, y'all. The rule of law. When we lose it, man, we lose it all.
Allows free markets, free ideas, and a freedom to dream. And we don't want to look like countries that don't have a rule.
So, Congressman, you referred to Elon Musk as a fascist at some point and alluded to him being a national security threat. Do you see that more of a national security threat, you sleeping with a Chinese spy?
Oh, snap. He called him out, y'all. Y'all hear that? Oh, yeah. Doom, doom, won't you take me to doom, doom, funky thing? Doom, doom, won't you take me to doom, doom, funky thing? Yeah, man. Funky fang. Put them fangs into Fartwell. So, yeah, that guy. Now, in a sane world, Fartwell would have been kicked out of Congress immediately. You've been compromised. We have no idea how much info Funky Fang got out of him when she was talking about, oh, me so horny. Me love you long time. Yeah, man. So he gets caught up with Funky Fang, and he don't want to answer no questions now. Yeah, this guy, this evil, corrupt politician who's walking while this guy's asking him some questions. Now, I know he wants to turn and punch this guy right in the face, but he can't do it because he's on film.
Then transparency in the federal government? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Fartwell? Because you just called Elon Musk a fascist. You just did what we just heard little girl with the big fat bull ring in her nose do. At the Charlie Kirk, at this turning point, they're fascists. Where do you think these people get the green light to just label everybody fascist from? When you get the same people in Congress doing the same stuff, labeling everybody who disagrees with them as a fascist. And out of all the horrible isms and issues and stuff you can be, you pick fascist because that was the party of Hitler, of course. See, so you want to go with fascists. You're not going with communists. You're not going with any of the other whatevers. You want to stick with fascists because you want people to make the connection that when you hear about conservatives, you want to compare conservatives immediately to the fascistic party. There it is, Hitler. So they're real reckless with their terms and their words. He calls Elon Musk a fascist, but then this guy's going, you got a lot of nerve, buddy, to be calling anybody a fascist. Maybe the Chinese Communist Party got all kind of secrets and stuff from you because you got caught up in a honey pot trap.
What's Fang Fang think of that?
Yeah. Hot up under the collar.
What's fascistic about exposing government corruption? I mean, I know you're just at dinner now with a bunch of lobbyists. You know, they're buying you a bunch of booze, and you know that's awfully nice. I know you were talking about, maybe Maybe finding somebody else because you only like the people that are 10s.
Oh, he was in there boasting, talking about he only liked to sleep with people who are 10s. Was Fang Fang a 10? Was Fang Fang a 10? But nonetheless, this is him trying to escape the pressure. Now, that guy is on his back right now, scratching him. And Eric Fartwell is trying to pretend he don't hear any of this stuff. He hears him. He hears him. Yeah, yeah. So as he makes his great escape from what this guy is asking him, let's see, because he's quick to call everybody else all kind of names and label people as fascists and criminals and stuff like that, and telling everybody nobody's above the law until it comes to him.
I just heard that one too. So what do you think about that? You want to comment on any of it?
Yeah. No? Fartwell?
Elon Musk is a national security threat, but you sleeping with a Chinese spy is not. Is that correct?
Oh, I love this guy. I don't even know who he is. But that right there is beautifully done. Yeah, Elon Musk is a national security threat, but you sleeping with a Chinese spy isn't. How are you still on any committee? Yeah, how are you still in Congress? Your lack of judgment should have cost you your position, but they allowed this guy to still function in their ranks, which kills me, man, because see, only Democrats would tolerate this type of mess. The Republicans didn't put no pressure on this guy having to step down at all, whatsoever, which blows my mind. But yet they'll go and find George Santos and throw him out real quick. Democrats don't do this. They don't do, it got to be so bad for them to get rid of one of their own. It's unreal. But they know he's a puppet. He's one of them guys that's going to do anything he has to do to win, to acquire power. He will lie about anything. He's deceptive. He's all of these horrific things, just like the Democrats like him. So they'll tolerate all of this mess. And he is sitting back probably like, if I could have this dude killed right now, I would.
You don't want to comment on that at all? Looks like guilty as charged.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man, Fartwell just had him a nice little dinner with all of his rich friends. He boasted about only sleeping with 10s as he sat around with his friends. And then made a great escape after calling Elon a fascist. And now here he is, giving some speech about Donald Trump. My gut tells me this is about to backfire. So let's go ahead and hear the hypocrite.
Troops and federal law enforcement are coming to a federalized Washington, D.C. The stated reason? Crime is on the rise. Oh. Well, I don't know if that's true, but I know there are way more criminals in Washington, D.C. today than there were back in early January.
And we're looking at one. We're looking straight at one right here. Yeah, buddy. So let's finish hearing him talk about himself.
And there's a direct line between a 34-count convicted felon coming to a Northwest neighborhood, having other cases that disappeared that he should have been held accountable for.
Oh, have him disappeared that he should have been held accountable for? What are you talking about? You're talking about all of those cases that they threw out there because of lawfare, that once he became president, they went away mysteriously because they were stupid in the first place? All of those bootleg charges that just happened to pop up, and then they tried to jam all of the hearings and stuff in right before the election. Nothing suspicious about that. But these bums who prostituted themselves gave y'all a talking point that he's a 30-something convicted felon, because, that's something y'all could say. But yet, at the same time, he has beat all of them. And the ones that still lingering, he's going to beat those too because they were all bogus. But you're going to use that talking point, right? So now here he is using that, and he's trying to say that Trump coming to D.C. to clean up that S-hole ran city is him just being a fascist, I guess, right?
Bringing his 7 bankruptcy and his network of other convicts and thieves and thugs into our community. Yeah.
He just described the whole Democrat Party, calling out the thieves and thugs and And I'm saying, what are you talking about? His network of what? You're just saying stuff, Eric. You're reading your script off of whatever teleprompter you have in front of you, like all the Democrats do, and you're slinging out all kind of statements that are lies, ain't backing nothing up, hyperbole all over the place, but yet here he is. There's thieves and there's thugs and there's whatevers.
Yes, there are more criminals in Washington, D.C. Most of them are in the Trump administration. So it's pretty rich that Donald Trump thinks that he should be focused outside the White House on reducing crime. He's got a real problem in his own house. So why don't you, Donald Trump, keep your side of the street clean before you start federalizing and sending troops into other neighborhoods in our nation's capital?
You tell him, Fartwell. You tell them for it. Well, nice speech.
This is wrong. It's a complete waste of resources. And it's time that Democrats stand up and make it clear. When we are in power, when we have the White House, the Senate, and the House, again, we will make sure D.C. becomes a state.
Bam! That's why we need to abolish the filibuster right now. Right now. What are y'all waiting on? What are the Republicans waiting on? The man just said it. If we think these dudes aren't going to get in power and do these things, you're stupid. So we're going to wait until it happened, then try to block it when we don't have the ability to do it. Man, Republicans better pull it together. So now you hear this? He's talking about making D.C. a state. Yeah, he's upset that Donald Trump went in there and cleaned up that S-hole ran city. He's mad that black kids aren't shooting other black kids and stuff now. He's mad that cars aren't being jacked and people being assaulted. He's mad that folks aren't being murdered up there because the real crime is over there at Donald Trump's the White House.
We should learn a harsh lesson here because in April 2021, Speaker Pelosi passed in the House D.C. statehood. It was blocked in the Senate. Of course, it was blocked by Republicans, but there were a handful of Democrats who were not willing to break the filibuster. And now we find D.C. under the control of a wannabe aspiring dictator.
So now D.C.'s under a wannabe aspiring dictator, even though you give us the power back. We're going to make Washington a state, probably Puerto Rico as well. We're going to abolish the filibuster, of course. Just like we're going to claim that you are doing if you do it. You're a dictator. You're a dictator. We're definitely going to pack the courts. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to make sure we bring back the deep state to monitor all of you folks out there on the internet with freedom of speech and disagreeing with the government so they can label you guys as potential domestic terrorists. We'll all then be on the Antifa end of it, even though we're not doing anything like that. All of these things that the Democrats were planning to do and were actually putting in place prior to Trump upsetting them twice. See, they had this all put together 2 times and he messed up their plans twice. Hillary was supposed to come in, take the baton from Barack and go ahead and finish the plan. And he interrupted them there. They cheated him. Then he comes back and interrupts them again. And you would think we would know by now that these people are evil enough and corrupt enough to make sure that if they ever get back in power, they're going to ensure that we never have another Trump, never have another MAGA movement. We never have another opportunity to, keep America the way it is. They're going to do all of that. And the question is to the Republicans, what are you going to do to stop that? Are you just going to sit back and hope that they're going to, not run over all of us and not do all the things that they did, even under Biden? Republicans got to get it together. I mean, if they were willing to sign off on tapping some of y'all phones and, looking at your phone records or something, what do you think they would have been? These were Congress people. They did that under, too, rather. Man, what do you think they do to a person like me? So Republicans better pull it together. But I hope this guy right here gets what's coming to him. Because look at this.
That's a hard lesson to learn, but it's one that we must learn. In the meantime, as Donald Trump threatens to federalize other cities, we can't be quiet. We have to keep going to the courts. We have to keep going to the town squares and the town halls. Yeah. And in Congress, we have to show a fight because we are in an existential crisis for our country. And I promise, when Democrats have the subpoena power, we will make sure to shine a light and bring justice to and hold to account the real criminals in Washington, D.C.
So in other words, what he's going to do is exactly what they're accusing Trump of doing right now. Retaliating against his political opponents, and he's targeting them because they ain't do nothing. They ain't do nothing. So that's what he's doing. And after you see what he's up to right about now, this is going to make even more sense in a second. Hold on.
The Trump administration.
This breaking just moments ago, Fox can now confirm that California Democrat Congressman Eric Swalwell has been criminally referred to the Department of Justice accused of mortgage fraud.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah, he's one of the nastiest.
That Eric Swalwell is apparently under some form of referral by Bill Pulte based on a reporting of a primary residence in Washington, D.C.
Now, MSNBC don't like this. They don't like when Democrats be held accountable. They don't like it when Democrats ain't above the law. That's what it is. So here she is, and she's kind of sad. She's sad about it. She's questioning. Notice the verbiage that she uses.
As opposed to California, where his district is. And I will say, for members of Congress, this is a particularly fraught topic because, as you know, if you were to ask many members of Congress, where is your primary residence? That would be a very challenging question to answer. Many of them.
If you don't know, who knows? That's my question. A challenging question to answer. If you don't know that question, who knows? Where do you live? That's a tough one. I don't know. Well, if you don't know, who knows? If you don't know where you live, you shouldn't be in Congress. So it's either you live there or you live there. One of the two. Where's your place of residence, your primary crib? Don't be telling me sometime I stay with my auntie over in it's kind of like my primary crib. But then when you got to pick one, Eric. But these folks are trying to act like that's tough. And it's really, petty that Trump is going after people. In fact, I think I heard CNN actually talk about everybody. Everybody does this. And, they're not going after all the other people. They're trying to downplay mortgage fraud because they're trying to save these raggedy behind corrupt Democrats.
Established households in Washington, D.C., and at the same time, their home base is wherever their state is. Mm-hmm. And so that is the same allegation that has been leveled against Senator Adams, also of California, and also a long-term political adversary of the president.
Now, notice they got to slide that in. Now, it can't just be the fact that these people are corrupt. It got to be, let me go ahead and insert their longtime advocates of the president, because see, what we got to do is infer that the only reason these charges are being looked at or potentially being brought is because Trump, he's retaliating and he's going after his political opponents. Now, once again, I don't care if it is. Honestly, I don't give a darn if he is, using that to go after them. These folks are obviously corrupt. Yeah, if you got to use that as a gateway to get in and snoop around, because they didn't even do that with Trump. They just went in snooping around. Yeah, they didn't even have a predicate. They didn't have something legit to go after Trump. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. These are people who were very critical of Trump. So
it's not lost on me that both Congressman Swalwell and Senator Schiff were members of the impeachment committees or the groups of impeachment managers who went to the Senate on each of Trump's 2 impeachment trials during his first term. Senator Schiff on the first, Congressman Swalwell on the second. Congressman Swalwell also a plaintiff in a lawsuit that seeks to recover for damages done to people like him on January 6th. And he himself has a statement out saying that he will not be cowed by any investigation into him, that he has long expected it. But like Letitia James,
you know why you expected it, Fort Wood? Because you knew you're dirty. That's what it is. So I hope the DOJ drops the bomb on him, baby. Drop the bomb on him. And all the rest of the Dems. Drop the bomb on him.
And Jim Comey and Adam Schiff before him, he believes that he is a target of the president.
The person who picked
he's a target. They always do that. We've been busted, and of course, it ain't because of what we did. It's because of Trump picking on us and that we've been targeted and stuff like that. Now, we do realize that if, Trump wouldn't have won, these people, along with probably many others that have done the same type of stuff, because it looks like this is a pattern, that don't worry about it. We're in Congress. We can go ahead and, use these methods and tactics to go ahead and get better tax rates and whatever deals by mortgage fraud. And nobody's going to come after us. Do you think Democrat or Republican, if you have a Republican president that ain't Trump, they probably ain't gonna do it either. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Republicans aren't doing this as well. However, they got a new sheriff in town that wants to make sure that nobody is above the law. Make sure that a standard perhaps practice amongst politicians where they all give each other the wink in the gun. We all do this up here. This is kind of a normal thing. It's not gonna fly. It might have been normal back then, but now it might be the entry, the gateway into really exposing how corrupt you guys really are. Yeah, man. So Fartwell is on the hook. And I'm going, because he's a crook. That's why. But now, guys, it's tit for tat. they got to come back and try to make Trump look like he is on the hook for something, which brings us to this latest hoax, which is now all of a sudden Donald Trump, I guess, is mentioned in some emails concerning Jeffrey, you know who. And apparently Donald Trump sat in a room with this mysterious young girl for hours, and it's believed that they're trying to suggest that maybe something went on with them. They're using this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing as a way to keep the narrative in the media that Trump maybe have been involved with some. Maybe he was down with Epstein. Maybe he didn't, involve himself with all these shenanigans and this and this and that. But we are pretending we want to get to the truth. But yet we really don't want to do that, because if we just go ahead and get straight to the truth, what's going to happen is people go, well, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. In fact, you probably can deduce that up front based on just some evidence from the past. I mean, the bottom line is, if Trump was involved with Epstein in any nefarious way, then maybe he shouldn't have been talking about it prior to getting back in office and all of those years where he was talking about Clinton might be in trouble. He's been on that plane too many times. Maybe he shouldn't have been doing all of that. Maybe he should have been like Clinton was. He didn't bring up Epstein. You'll never hear him talking about him. Yeah, all the folks that really was involved with him, they don't want to talk about that dude at all. But then you should use some common sense and say, now, wait a minute, though. Why now? Okay. Now, granted, I will say that the Trump administration probably should have gotten ahead of this way before they've allowed the Democrats now to try to co-opt the whole Jeffrey Epstein narrative and hook Trump to it. But this latest hoax is about to reveal just how foul the Democrats are and how stupid they are, because it's going to backfire. You would think they would start off by listening to a person like this and saying, well, here's a guy who was deeply involved with it years ago, and look what he had to say about Trump.
Picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want.
Trump did that?
I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever. But
now, do you think Wild Bill called up this guy? Listen, this is Bill. I want to give you all the information I can give on Epstein and his shenanigans on that plane that I flew on about 20-something times. And I want to give you all the info about Epstein, even though he got me in a big old picture with a dress on, looking like a blueberry. See, so why he didn't do that? Why he didn't do that? But Trump calls and says, let me give you all the intel I can give on this dude.
Had good information, that checked out, and that helped us, and then we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009.
What?
So,
do you know if there's any truth to James Patterson's claims that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
I've definitely heard that. I definitely heard that. I don't know that it was Trump himself, as opposed to a manager there.
Trump's club, so
yeah, Trump. I've heard the rumor that Epstein was kicked out of there for allegedly trying to pick up somebody's daughter, something like that.
Now look at that. Now, the Democrats already know this is bogus, but they're playing a real dangerous game. And I hope they pay a real major price for these lies. Okay. Now, they're trying to make a big to-do out of this, and they're trying to pretend that they want to get to the bottom of it, and Trump needs to go ahead and this and that, and they need to go ahead and take a vote so we can get all the files. But let's see what happens when they're given the opportunity to take that vote and get all that information. Or do they want to just keep these little things lurking out there, these leaks? They don't want to really open up the books only to put it to bed, but they want to just keep it in the mind of the people like, hey, we're still looking into it. He's hiding something. My gut tells me that's what they're up to. See, so let's go ahead and move on, because all of a sudden they're sending out the people to talk about Trump and his potential involvement with Epstein.
But I think I did chase that down as far as I could, and never was able to confirm.
Emails that showed Jeffrey Epstein mentioning Donald Trump by name multiple times in private correspondence that he had with people, including Ghislaine Maxwell, obviously his longtime associate and accomplice, and also the author Michael Wolff. In a time span of about the last 50 15 years or so in these emails. Now, these are coming out from the House Oversight Committee. They had issued a bipartisan subpoena to Jeffrey Epstein's estate, John, as you know, earlier this year. And so they've gotten their hands on a trove of documents. And these are emails that included Jeffrey Epstein on them. They were sent either to him or from him that mentioned Donald Trump before he was in office and also while he was in office during his first term. And I want to walk you through these emails of what exactly we are reading in Jeffrey Epstein's own words.
Now y'all hear all of this stuff, email between him and Maxwell and all this stuff. Trump never got copied either on this and this and that. And, you know, CNN wants to dive into it after, of course, this big fat embarrassment that took place with the government reopening and the Democrats bending the knee and all the years that have gone by where a lot of this stuff was public information. They could have been diving into all of this stuff under the Biden administration, but no, they didn't do it. But for some reason now, they want to get all involved into these emails and stuff like that instead of talking about how these raggedy behind Democrats stunk it up over the last 40-something days of having lockdowns for no reason. Yeah, but now they want to talk about these emails and stuff like that. So let's see if there's any there to these emails.
These emails that have been released by the House Oversight Committee. And in one of them, Jeffrey Epstein says, and I should note, Trump did not send or receive any of these messages. He's not a party to these emails, John, but these are emails from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. Thank you so much for being with us.
So here's one. They done sent one out. One of the dirty Dems, y'all. Now, what they're trying to paint Trump as, once this mess gets cleared up, I'm telling you, can you go after politicians for defamation? I'm just wondering. These folks are trying to infer that Trump is a you-know-what foul. Listen to this chick, and she's about to get her bubble busted by CNN. CNN, y'all. I can't believe it. Not busted hard enough, though. See, I would have took a huge, gigantic nail to that bubble. But granted, I got to give credit. She's going to push back a little bit on this Democrat liar.
What are you taking from these emails?
Yeah, I mean, these emails are clearly extraordinarily explosive. They implicate the president, that he not only knew what was happening in Jeffrey Epstein's circle, but that he spent time with at least one, if not multiple, of Jeffrey Epstein's named sex victims.
Now you're adding to it. At least one, if not multiple. See all of the little things they're doing. This is a dangerous game. They're trying to slide in extra stuff outside of that. They're not sticking to the facts. At least one, if not multiple. Let me go ahead and add my little flavor on the end of it. And of course, here she is, at least one. So who was that one person? That's my question.
As well as there's discussion in the email that you just cited between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein about the fact that he had been the dog that didn't bark, and they specifically are talking about the police. So what this implicates is that potentially going back all the way to 2011, even after Jeffrey Epstein had been investigated for criminal activity, not just in sex trafficking, but also for financial crimes, which we know U.S. Attorney Acosta lied under his deposition about, that Donald Trump was being named by Epstein and by Ghislaine Maxwell as being the dog that didn't bark on them. And so the question is...
No, that's not what that is. The dog that didn't bark on them, that's not what it is. Donald Trump was not even questioned. They didn't subpoena him over all of this stuff because he gave a deposition. You know, you're talking about the dog that didn't bark and stuff like that. She's trying to make it seem like Trump is holding back information from them. About them rather, from whomever. Like Trump knows more about what really was going on, and he never, barked. He never, went out there and spilled the beans on these people. And then in another email, though, this ironic, it appears that Jeffrey was trying to blackmail Trump. Yeah, she's not mentioning the fact that, Jeffrey Epstein said he had nothing on Trump. She's not mentioning the fact that all of the girls all said they never witnessed Trump involved in any shenanigans, never saw him do nothing and all of this stuff. Yeah, she's bringing up stuff that I'm saying, are you trying to override all of the exculpatory evidence right now? All of the other stuff that shows Trump had nothing involved with this guy. The fact that Trump made sure this dude got kicked out of Mar-a-Lago. You don't want to talk about that? You want to talk about an email that talks about him not being a dog that barks and stuff like that? You don't want to talk about Bill Clinton being in pictures where folks are giving him a massage and stuff like that. Him laying up there with that big old dress on. You don't want to talk about that? You want to talk about this crap right here. See, so let's go ahead and finish hearing her build her case against Trump, and she's about to get her bubble busted.
What did Donald Trump have on them? Was he engaged in these activities? And why is Donald Trump calling Republican members of the House today and yesterday to threaten them to get off of the discharge petition? If he thinks that we should be focused on the reopening the government, then why is he personally calling Republicans and threatening them right now?
Because he knows y'all are using this to distract. Y'all want this to dominate the news cycle. Y'all want to go ahead and get caught up in the muck and the mire, and whatever we release, you're going to go through it and you're going to do exactly what y'all are doing right now. See, that's what's going to happen. So it can't just be a blanket release. What it needs to be is a breakdown, an explanation, a very coordinated public relations effort to make sure that whatever they release, they show all of the evidence proving that Trump had no involvement in this. Get ahead of it and make sure that you have a nice presentation. Now, I know that many of you would like to pretend and infer that our President Donald Trump somehow was involved in this. Let's go ahead and go over what we know are going to be y'all talking points and show y'all why this is stupid and why Trump was not involved in this. So it can't just be, let's throw it out there and let the Democrats have at it. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to do exactly what they're doing right here. Manipulate the information, leave information out, try to infer and insert their own opinion into stuff, create suspicion. They don't want to get to the bottom of what really happened to these young ladies. They're using all of this garbage to try to make Trump look bad and make people suspicious about his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. But this CNN person is about to ask her some questions that exposes her.
So help us understand this, because
help me.
Democrats redacted Virginia Giuffre's name.
What?
And I mean, I have to say, these emails...
No, you wouldn't know. You're a low-level person. No. Liar. You liar.
Was redacted. No, it came to us.
It came to you redacted. Okay.
Yeah, probably from the Democrats. All right, we're going to all send you this thing right here. We already had one of our people redact the name, and then they sent it out. She gets it. I thought, okay, it's redacted already. Here's my talking points. We talking about came to you redacted.
Yeah, so we don't even know. That is the claim of the White House.
Oh,
so that's something that we should be asking questions about. Yes.
Okay, really interesting.
No, that's a claim of the White House. Now, if you are a congresswoman, why can't you just ask? You don't want to know the answer to that. Yeah, that's what it is. Because, see, when we get to the answer of who this mysterious person is, it'll blow the whole narrative out the water. But instead of getting ahead of it, this to let you know what the motive is. This lets you know where their heart is. They're not trying to exonerate the president over this accusation. They don't want to know the truth. They want people to just go ahead and make up their own opinion or imagine who this person might be that's mentioned in this email. Because if you find out who the person really is, it changes the whole context of the email. So instead of going through to say, well, you know what, this is a simple fix. I know people up here on Capitol Hill. I could easily ask someone that, hey, who's the person that this is referring to? But instead of doing that, let me go on CNN and make up stuff.
Interesting. So, and House Republicans came out and mentioned the redaction there. It is of significance that Virginia Giuffre, who was so vocal, right, and was not known for pulling any punches about what...
Y'all didn't use the wrong person for your hoax. Are you kidding me? Now, this goes to show Democrats are evil, for one. Two, they solely benefit and rely off of 100% stupidity by their voters. Solely. I mean, that is it. If you have not followed this story, if you don't know nothing about Jeffrey Epstein, if you don't know nothing about, the young lady who's, they just mentioned Virginia, then you would easily fall for this shenanigan right here. No, Trump, he probably was, who was the girl in the room he was with? Probably was with many more of them as well. Why won't he? You will fall for it. But once you know who this person is, it changes the whole dynamic.
What happened to her did not accuse Trump of wrongdoing. And so I want to know kind of what you think.
Didn't accuse Trump of wrongdoing. Whole narrative blown up. Now, if CNN wouldn't have asked this question, she would have went on and on and on about this person probably is a victim, and Trump probably did something to this girl while he was in the room with her and all of this stuff. She probably would have went on and on with that mess. And I think maybe CNN and MSNBC even might be a little squeamish because they're going, wait a minute, if we mess around and accuse Trump of doing something like this, that opens us up to litigation. So maybe we should push back just a little bit. We don't like what we have to do, though. We don't like having to push back. I'd love to let you just sit there and not bring this to your attention and nod along like, yeah, well, it could be. Who knows what the... But I guess we got to try to pretend that we're going to go ahead and be fair and balanced for a second and watch. This lady don't know how to handle that. She's like, what? I can't believe you would bring that up. You're blowing up my lie.
Think of that because there is this discrepancy. You have Epstein saying this in an email to Maxwell. Maxwell, we know about her in terms of her credibility. She doesn't really have credibility, right, when it comes to being honest. I'd say people have the same questions about Epstein. Giuffre has said that there wasn't she hasn't claimed wrongdoing with Trump. So how do you kind of square what you're reading in the email with what Virginia Giuffre had said publicly?
Well, you can't. I'm going to square it by making up more lies. I'm going to square it by, oh, shoot. I wonder. Okay. So what I was trying to say, now here she goes. She's about to go into, I'm a little kid in school, didn't do the book report. Didn't know nothing about the book. So here you go. You're going about to make it up. There was a chicken and a dog. The one was a dog that liked chicken and he ate chickens and stuff. No, that's not what was in the book. Those aren't even characters in the book, Tommy, huh? Oh, I did the wrong report then. I'm sorry. So let's hear how she fiddles through this.
Well, first of all, like I just mentioned, we don't know if the White House's claim that redacted name actually is Virginia Giuffre.
But we're going to come out and slander you before we know. We don't want to know, right? We want to dump out the garbage, the trash, before we actually get to it. Because our intentions are evil. See, if you were really trying to get to the truth, you would have went and asked first. But nope, let's leap and look later. So that off grip lets us know the intentions of these evil people. Well, first of all, we don't know if the White House never crossed your mind to stop and think, well, wait, who is this person? Did they mention Trump as being nefarious? No? Okay, because you don't want the people. You want to keep people ignorant.
And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I think it's convenient that the White House is trying to choose an alibi that they think. And, if you read the email, this is private correspondence between Maxwell and Epstein. Why does the White House know at all who Donald Trump was hanging out with at Jeffrey Epstein's house, who was one of the sex trafficking accusers, right?
Look, trying to make it seem like you did, right? And how does I'm trying to make sense of this, but it ain't making sense. Yeah, what doesn't make sense to me is the fact that you just said we don't know whose name is behind that and stuff, and you're asking how does the White House know it all behind? Now, this is one of them things. Well, all you got to do is say, why didn't you guys ask before you came out with this little hit piece, with this hoax? Why didn't you say, well, wait a minute, this right here can be damning to a person's reputation. This right here could really sway the minds and the opinions of stupid voters out there that might interpret the president as being somebody who's involved with these type of shenanigans. So maybe we should pump the brakes because we're about to smear our president. No, because that's the goal. The goal is to smear our president. See, let's come out and make up some crap about him. And instead of being truthful, we're coming out to smear him. And now I got to go ahead and overcome with this CNN person just asked you, how do you square that? If this is Virginia, they said Trump never did nothing. How do you square it? Now you got to go around the mulberry bush.
This should be raising every hair on the back of your neck right now.
No, what's raising hair on the back of my neck is your lies. What's raising hair on the back of my neck is I'm going, no, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Why would you guys come out and say Trump might have did something to a person who said Trump never did nothing to me?
I don't even know that is who is named in this email. Yeah. Secondly, whether or not Virginia Giuffre has accused the president of wrongdoing, what I'd like to say to the American people is believe your eyes.
Oh my gosh, believe your eyes. Whether or not Virginia Frey came out and said Trump did something or didn't do something, forget that evidence. Forget that very important evidence. Now I want you to believe your eyes. And I'm saying, okay, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? Believe my eyes. So let me see. What is she referring to?
We have all seen the photographs of Donald Trump with underage girls sitting on his lap.
Have we? I ain't seen none of those. I saw a picture of Ivanka, maybe his grandchildren. I saw some fake generated pictures of people sitting on his lap. But what are you talking about? But we do have pictures of Bill Clinton getting back rubs and stuff like that. We got that. But you're just going to come out there and say, we all seen pictures of that. Now, see, this is where you're getting into slander. This is the moment where I'm going, maybe we need to call a lawyer or something and consult. I mean, this don't seem right. This doesn't seem right that you could just get up here and tell the people, forget the evidence, forget the fact that, Virginia, Trump never did nothing. She was a Trump supporter. Forget that. I want you now to believe my eyes, or she should have said, I want you all to believe my lies. Forget that. I want you all to believe my lies instead of your eyes.
We know that he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for...
Did we? Best friends? See, I would think somebody like Wild Bill, who flew on Lolita Express about 20-something times, would qualify as a best friend. That's what I would think. But we still know that, you see, all of the slandering that's taking place. The big fat main point that she was trying to make just got blown to hell. So now what she's doing is just winging it, full-blown winging it.
For more than a decade, we know that he has not complied with our congressional subpoena of the DOJ files, and we know that he is named multiple times in those files. So believe your eyes, believe your ears. And my question... Now,
you weren't concerned about this under, Joe Biden's administration? I mean, heck, Bill Clinton's mentioned many, many times. Whole bunch of folks are mentioned. But that doesn't mean just because names pop up that they were guilty of something. Trump was never investigated about on any of this stuff. In fact, we heard in the beginning that he came out up front, said, let me give you all the intel you need to know about this dude. Because he was hanging around Mar-a-Lago trying to recruit some of our girls to the point where I had to tell Ghislaine Maxwell to stop, knock it off. And then y'all wouldn't knock it off, so I had to kick Jeffrey's butt out. So she's not talking about that. These people, this is going to blow up in their face big time. And I hope Trump and them do this strategically. I hope they go ahead and let them burn their own bridge. Because right now, you can see the signs of blowing up in their face just on this.
Is if they were not engaged in an elaborate smokescreen and cover-up, then why the hell is the president calling and threatening members of Congress for them to not take a vote on releasing these files after these files have already been subpoenaed? They are trying to bury this, and the president is personally trying to stop Congress from asking for these files again.
I do want to ask you about that because it is unusual that Lauren Boebert is there for this meeting. But first, just to really zoom in on this redacted name here. So are you of the belief?
She won't let that name go. Because that chick just tried to take us all around the mulberry bush. Don't forget the name, whoever the person is now. That person isn't important anymore. That person's not important anymore. At first, that was what I started off on. I wanted y'all to believe that it was all about Trump in the room with this person. Now that you just exposed me, my motive, and reveal who the person is, now I got to go ahead and bunny hop over that and get to just throwing out stuff on the wall. I believe my lies. My eyes. There's pictures out there, and he was Jeff's best friend and stuff like that. Why is he hiding stuff? Why is he hiding stuff? And now this lady goes right back to Virginia.
That the victim that Epstein is alleging Trump spent time with at his house is someone besides Virginia Giuffre, or could be someone besides Virginia Giuffre?
I do not have information that would allow me to answer that question.
Then shut your chaps. Shut it up. Shut your mouth. Now here you are spreading rumors. Look at all these rumors around me every day. Instead of getting that intel, instead of doing your homework, somebody said blurring. I'm blurry? Okay. If I'm blurry, let me see. Let me double check, make sure. I don't even know if I'm on the Wi-Fi or if I'm on. Anybody else see me blurry? Because I look pretty good right here. Yeah. Tell me if I'm blurry. Tell me if I'm blurry, yo. Let's see. I ain't getting no feedback yet. Am I blurry? Yeah, blurry. Okay. Well, wait. Somebody saying no. See, now I'm getting mixed opinion. Now I got, maybe it's clearing up. You're good enough in my book. All right, good here. All right. So if I'm blurry on somebody's, just maybe refresh. Yeah, because it could just be, you know how the internets are, blurry for a quick second, then So anyway, so y'all hear that? When she was asked about it, I got no information on that. Then why are you out here spreading these rumors? That's my question. Why are you out here spreading these rumors? You know, I don't even know if I'm on the Wi-Fi or not, honestly. Let me see something here. And I'm on the network now. Let me see. Okay. All right, here we go. We'll roll with that for a little bit. And if it gets blurry, then I'll go ahead and put the Wi-Fi back on. So instead of doing your homework, this lady comes out and she's just making up stuff and spreading rumors. That's all she's doing. So we see what we're dealing with when we deal with the Democrat Party. They deal in the slums. They are talebearers. They are folks that just like to be in the muck and the mire and just spread all kind of lies. Thus, Trump probably is hesitant to go ahead and say, let's dump a whole bunch of stuff out there to give these bottom feeders a way to go through it, manipulate it, all of this stuff, and drive the news cycle away from the good things that are happening right about now. So if you're going to release it, you better do it the right way so that the Democrats can't go through it and mess it all up and try to act like this is that. And what about this? And this right here means you got to get ahead of it and make sure you block all of their efforts to go ahead and try to make Trump look like he's involved in this. I don't care about the rest of the folks. Whoever else was involved in it, let them, if they did something wrong, let them go down. But I don't believe Trump had anything to do with any of this. All right, so now, with that being said, let's see how she responds to that.
Question. What I know is that we've received 23,000 documents from the Jeffrey Epstein estate, including this email.
Okay, then let me zero in on this real quick. So, can I just ask you this? So you do not have knowledge that tells you that is Virginia Giuffre?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But I'm going to come out there, push this narrative without having knowledge. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this very recklessly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, and if I could have got away with it, I would have allowed all of your viewers to walk away thinking that Trump did something with this person. That's what I would have done, because I'm a dirty, stinking Democrat, and you just had the nerve to ask me a simple question that just blew up this whole narrative. Just exposed another Democrat hoax. Let's continue, because there's somebody else who's going to try the same thing.
Okay, so explain this again to us. You received this, and it is redacted. There is no name. And so you're saying it's the White House that's saying this is Giuffre.
Yes.
And what kind of questions does that raise for you?
Yeah, none. Because I'm not here to actually get to the bottom of things. I'm here to come out and push the lie. That's all I am. They sent me the emails and that stuff, and I just said, okay, now what am I? Oh, I get to go on CNN? All right, I'm going there and try to make it seem like Trump was doing something with this person. Yeah, so what does that raise for you? What concerns?
Well, as I said, first and foremost, we have subpoenaed these files from the White House, from the Department of Justice. We have subpoenaed financial documents. We have subpoenaed the estate. And thus far, Donald Trump and the White House have refused to disclose the DOJ documents that are clear on what the FBI investigated, who was facing potential criminal charges, who was implicated, why the president is named in those files. So we don't know what is in the White House, DOJ, FBI files.
Yeah, you see that? Once again, round that mulberry bush. Yeah, I like that. First of all, let's go back to just me trying to filibuster and not answer the question, because I really can't answer that question, because I never had any reservations when it came down to going out and exposing, these emails. I never stopped for 1 second because I got bad intentions. I didn't want to know the truth. I didn't want to know that, wait a minute, before I go out and slander the president and try to make it seem like he was involved with something, maybe I should ask a couple questions. See, yeah, the goal was to slander the president. Now I'm on here sitting back trying to talk about our subpoenas and all that. That first of all, that president never sent me, and then we subpoenaed records. And
But what we do know is that the estate has been producing documents in tranches, and they have been redacting those documents as they have been sent to the committee. I have not reviewed the original transmittal that came from the estate, but my understanding is that in that 23,000-page document production that happened over the weekend, that there were redactions produced by the estate. And so it is my understanding that it is the White House's response.
Yeah.
They are trying to claim that it is Virginia Giuffre, and we do not know if that is the case or not. And
but we're not going to wait to find out. But even though you do know, you're lying right there. You know. But now I'm gonna pretend that we don't know that the White House is just making that claim. So now, what if it comes out that it is? What if the White House proves it? What if they come out and say, okay, let's address it? It is Virginia. There's the unredacted part. Are you going to get back on here and retract all of this nonsense? Are you going to get back on here and say, oops, my fault. We were trying to pull a fast one over on America again. Trying to pull a fast one on them. But we got busted once again. Yeah, our true, nasty, stinking Democrat intentions were revealed once again. Because here we are pushing this hoax instead of getting to the bottom of truth. But now here she is talking about that we want to get to the bottom of it.
while we can ask the estate to verify that, I don't have that information in front of me right now.
But then shut it up. Shut it up. Here's another one, though. Here's another one.
Sure that the Department of Justice didn't have this information, and if they didn't have this information, do we know whether or not they actually...
Okay, what is that growing out the back of her head? That's what I want to know. Yes, somebody go find a horse that has just been abducted and shaved down for that mess to be hanging off the back of her head. I'm not surprised that she ain't walking around like this, because that thing has to weigh about 35 pounds on the back of her head. She should be looking straight up at the sky while she's talking. It's unbelievable. That looks like a mess. So let's continue hearing Jasmine Ratchet, who's hopefully about to be out of a job for the rest of her life, talk about this. And then she's about to get busted too.
Actually deleted this information? Do we know that there was a thorough investigation? Do we know whether or not the investigation had concluded? These are all questions that we need answers to.
You hear that? Let me get up here and just throw out a whole bunch of do we know, do we know, do we know? So I can plant the seed in people's mind that Trump's hiding something. Yeah, it all comes down to he's trying to hide something that involves him. They don't want to know about everybody else. They don't want to know about Bill Gates. They don't want to know about the dude over in your hint. I forget his name. The one of the royal family members. They don't want to know about them people. They're really trying to make it seem like Trump is somehow involved in this. That's the whole goal. Democrats don't want to know about this stuff right here. They don't care about the victims because they would have done this a long time ago when they had the power. But now all of a sudden they're all curious.
But we can't get them when you're not cooperating. So we don't know what the DOJ has, nor what it is that the DOJ potentially was trying to do. Considering that the president right now is trying to obstruct on some very basics of let's just get a subpoena that says release all the information, I wouldn't be surprised, just like he obstructed the prosecution.
Only thing that's being obstructed is your sight because of those eyelashes that are this long. That's the only obstruction that's going on right now. Your eyeballs are going, I'm obstructed from seeing right about now. Looks like you got a visor on your face. But nonetheless, here she is. Yeah, visor on her face. Got the horse tail up back. Unreal.
Of one of his henchmen who took $50,000 in taxpayer dollars from undercover officers, I wouldn't be surprised if he sent a message and said, stop investigating. We're done with this. Epstein's dead. I don't want to hear anything else about it.
Yeah.
Do you have any evidence of that claim?
I have no idea. No.
I have no idea. No. You hear this? These are modern day Democrats. I have no idea. No. But I just went through about a good solid minute and a half of just throwing things out there. I thought, what about this? We don't know this and we don't know that and whatever. And it could be this and that. I want to go and plant the seeds. That's how the devil works. Let me just plant the seeds. When he asked Eve, are you going to take a bite of that fruit? No. God told us not to do it. Did he? I mean, did he say that? I'm just saying. We don't know. We don't know. Is that what he meant? What is he trying to hold from you? Maybe he's up to something. Maybe he's trying to keep something from you. That's the whole point. We don't know. Did you ask him? Because you know what? If you don't ask him, you don't know why you shouldn't eat the fruit. And then you know what happened? I think you know what, he might be up to something. That's just how the devil works. So she dropped all of that garbage out there. Then when she's asked, she's like, no, I have no evidence. And then watch how she tries to go ahead and flip that.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
I have no information.
Yeah.
And that's why
I
we
just
need
got
these
done
files to be
inferring.
released. Because we are looking for transparency, whether you're a Democrat,
That's what we
Republican, or
looking for.
independent.
That's all we want.
Listen, if people decide that they want to continue to support a person who may be a pedophile himself, or a person who obviously is covering for pedophiles, that's on them. But they should know at least the devil that they have decided to pick.
No, I'm looking at the devil right now, dude. Somebody in Texas decided to pick. Unreal to me. But nonetheless, she comes back, y'all, based on these new emails, and tries to go ahead and drop all of this out.
This is an email from April 2nd, 2011. Republicans are saying that that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She's been very outspoken victim of Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. What do you make of that? And can you confirm that?
Yeah.
Y'all ready for her to put that nasty, big, stinking shoe right down her throat?
I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is, so I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word on who it is that's redacted. And I don't know why they would necessarily redact someone's name who is deceased at this point.
Doesn't make sense.
Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No. I understand, but I'm just saying, like, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims.
Oh, you see her try to change it up? She walked right to, we can't trust Republicans, and I wouldn't trust them. I don't even know why they would redact the names of somebody who was dead anyway. Democrats did that. Oh, yeah, well, I know, because, see, we trying to protect the victims. So now all of a sudden, though, it's okay that the name is redacted from somebody who passed away, because the Democrats are just trying to protect the victims. But before you knew that, you were trying to belittle the Republicans because you thought they the ones that redacted the name. I don't know why they would do something like that anyway, because of if this right here, if this doesn't show how foul and how corrupt these people are, but yet these people keep voting for them. So that was a major backfire right there, and an exposure of her ignorance and hypocrisy.
Who is deceased at this point.
The Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No. I understand, but I'm just saying, like, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims. And obviously, she wrote a book. She told her truth.
Now that's our concern. Only when you expose the big fat fraud right there. Only when you expose the hoax. Just a second ago, you're talking about I wouldn't trust the Republicans anyway, whatever they say. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't trust them anyway. You can't trust them. And then, and I don't know why. See, she got smug. Apparently, she didn't do her homework just like the other lady. They just come straight out there and they prostitute themselves, whoever's giving their talking points. And they said, this is our goal. Go out, slander Trump, make it look like he was involved with this person in the room right there. That was it. And she goes out and don't even realize that her own crew redacted it. Talking about, and then they're going to try to get smart about the Republicans. I don't know why they were attacking it anyway, because somebody was deceased. Duh. Oh, I know the Democrats did that. Oh, I know. See, because, you know, it's all about, like, protecting the victim names and stuff like that now that I'm exposed. See, so let's go ahead and get some feedback from a couple other people before we get out of here concerning this big fat hoax.
Truth.
The Epstein emails?
What?
Anyone who's telling you this is huge is a liar.
Oh, not Cuomo. Now look at all of that right there, 2015, all the way down to 2025. We got him now. Yeah, that makes sense. See, Trump laughing? All the way down there, we got him now. When will their voters get tired of being tricked? Haven't they watched Looney Tune cartoons? Meet. Gone, man. Yeah, haven't they watched that? So, once again, they're coming out with this hoax. And out of all people, Cuomo's going, don't believe it.
Anybody who's telling you, this is it, here we go, Trump's going down, is full of shit and just doing clickbait.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I've always said about Epstein, and I have a lot of deep sourcing in and around this, okay? What Bongino with Kash Patel and now with Ro Khanna and all the guys on the left, they're all full of shit and they're playing you. But anyone who's telling you right now, oh, this is big, I've never seen them this scary, that person is full of shit.
Oh, shit.
And I say release all the files and then you'll see what there was there and what people knew wasn't there. And then you'll know what to trust, who to trust, and who to tell to fuck off.
What we see
Now, I wonder when they're going to realize they can't trust the fake news and they can't trust the Democrats. All of these things. This is what kind of blows my mind. They had people believing that Donald Trump was a Russian agent. A Russian agent. Now, do you think that they're above coming out lying about him being involved with the Epstein shenanigans? They knew he wasn't a Russian agent, just like they know Trump's not involved with Epstein. They knew it. They came out, lied to all of their voters, had them believing it, had them thinking Trump's going down because Russia helped him win the election. Trump's a Putin puppet, only to find out they were played by the Democrats and the fake news. Only to find out Hillary Clinton made up the whole thing, and yet the next hoax that comes up, what do? Jump on board with that. Oh, that this time, did he really going down? I think your boy going down. I'm going, you should have left them alone when you found out they lied to you about the Russia collusion delusion. You should have left them alone. You should have been mad at that. But they keep making you guys look like fools because you buy into this because of your Trump derangement syndrome. You want it to be right. You want to believe the lie. You're like, give me another lie to believe because I'm hoping this lie is truth. I'm hoping this one is a true lie. A true lie. Y'all ain't never heard of that? True lies. So now, check out what this man has to say.
C today is a bunch of innuendo. It's hearsay. There isn't any direct backup for any allegation because there aren't any allegations other than Trump may have been in a house where there are some girls. Right. Okay. So you have the lady in question, and I feel very bad for Miss Giuffre's family. He committed suicide. What a horrible thing.
Did she? Because I heard a audio clip from another video. I didn't play it because I can't verify it yet. But another YouTuber, he had an audio clip where it was supposed to be her. And she had set up a system to where it would, she started off by talking about if something happened to me, I didn't kill myself. Here's what's really going on. And another, dump will come if I don't report in by a certain time. So I don't know. I haven't verified that. Sound like her, but I couldn't verify it, so I didn't want to play it. But if that is the truth, in that clip, she dropped a whole bunch of names out there, and one name she didn't drop out there negatively was Donald Trump. But even if that's not real, before she passed away, during all the investigation, she made sure she let everybody know Trump had nothing to do with anything.
The whole thing is just awful. And that's right on Epstein. You have her saying under oath, Trump didn't do anything. And you
had her saying under oath, Trump didn't do anything.
And you have Maxwell. But here's the most
important. And you have Maxwell. So let me understand this. Virginia said Trump didn't do anything. Maxwell said Trump didn't do anything. And who else said it?
Person you have. Not under oath. Dershowitz. Dershowitz was Epstein's lawyer. And lawyer-client confidentiality ends with death. Dershowitz went on television today, said, I have all of the Epstein stuff. And there isn't anything. And I asked Epstein directly, while I was representing him, whether Donald Trump was involved in any kind of untoward activity. And Epstein said no.
Wow. So now, why aren't the Democrats going out finding these leads? So let me understand. They want to believe Epstein because he mentioned somewhere in the email that Trump is foul, I hate him, he's an evil person and stuff like that. So now all of a sudden, Epstein's opinion matters when it comes down to his view on Trump. The guy who's accused of being, and doing some of the worst things ever, the Democrats actually referenced the fact that he said Trump's evil and he's a bad man, a bad person. They referenced that. But now you don't want to reference the fact that he said Trump had nothing to do with any of this stuff. Don't want to reference that part of it, right? So we got Virginia saying Trump didn't do nothing. Maxwell said nothing about Trump. She said Trump didn't do anything. None of the other girls said Trump did anything. And then Epstein himself told his lawyer, Trump didn't do anything. And then we got emails that appears that Epstein's trying to figure out a way to blackmail Trump just in case he wins and comes after him. See, but yet the Democrats are so dumb and blinded, they get out there and they don't realize these are all things that could blow this whole hoax out of water. But we don't care. We're going to get out there and push it and hope that nobody catches it or follows up to realize that we are lying and making up stuff. We're hoping that it would just linger in the heads of dummies who just watched the initial outpouring of our lies and walked away believing it. And never come back to say, hey, let me follow up on your lies and see what happened. So now, there you go. Dershowitz said that Epstein never mentioned it. And then we're going to close with a unexpected rant about this, which, take it for a grain of salt. But what this person about to say is true.
So now you have the three principal players in this case all saying the same thing. Yet the press is so irresponsible, so corrupt, so hateful.
Yes, they are.
They will not even mention that. It's death by innuendo.
Yep.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett, back on the farm in Tennessee.
Hey, Tim. Hey.
After opening the government up yesterday.
Okay.
I put forth a UC, which is a motion for unanimous consent.
To do what?
And it was for Ro Khanna's bill.
Okay.
It didn't even have anything to do with Massey's. It's still there.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want to with that.
All right.
But Ro Khanna's bill just said release the files.
Release the files.
That's what everybody wants.
Release
apparently. The files. And that's what I did. And the Democrat leadership opposed to it.
What?
And that's why that they said it was in fact not in order, because to be unanimous consent, of course, is unanimous.
Wait, ain't that what they want? Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want. You know I got it. And when they got a chance to get what they want, they voted against it. It's kind of like when they were whining about all of the dreamers under Trump's first 4 years. We want the 1 million dreamers to get citizenship. And Trump said, how many? I give you 2.5. No, we don't want it, because you never wanted it in the first place. You wanted it to be a talking point. You wanted it so you can keep going on and on about Trump hates the dreamers. He wants these people. You don't really want it. So now they had a chance to vote to release the files, and they all didn't vote for it, even though they say that Trump is trying to hold on to it.
Now, if you don't believe my words, read the House Manual, page 805. I believe it's the second paragraph down, and you can read it for yourself. It's public record. They're either lying to y'all or they're just intentionally trying to mislead you.
Both.
I think a little bit of both by some of them, and some of them honestly just are just mistaken. But anyway, that's what it's about. It's about releasing Ro Khanna's bill, page 805. Also, if you will go back and look at some of the comments, people are saying, well, I did that to hide so you won't know how they voted. No, in fact, that is the whole definition of unanimous consent. It is unanimous. Yeah. It means that you voted in favor of it. You can't hide behind anything and say, well, I didn't vote for that. Well, you had your opportunity on the floor under unanimous consent, and apparently the Democrats are just playing games.
Like they always do. If you give them what they want, then they go, oh, we wasn't expecting that. Well, now what do we do? If we get what we want, and it comes out that what we thought we were pushing and a lot of we were pushing is exposed to be a nothing burger, then what are we going to do? Now we don't have the talking point. Now we can't go on all these networks talking about we're still waiting for the files they won't release, and what is he hiding? What is he hiding? What is he up to? We can't do that then. It's kind of like, okay, throw it out there. And it's like, okay, there's nothing in here about that. So we got to move on to the next hoax. So gave them what they wanted. They didn't want to go ahead and sign off on it or vote for it, because who knows? Bill Clinton might pop up in there too. That's what I'm wondering about. I want to know about who's on your squad that might be involved in that.
They're not about getting the truth out, folks.
Never.
This is just about power and control, just like the shutdown was for. It had nothing to do with doing what's right and looking after the innocent and punishing the guilty. And that's what all this is about.
Incriminating emails? Well, what specifically and how significant was it? And when we sit up there as Democrats and we're applauding on the House floor, now that Alita Grijalva was there talking about she'll be the final vote to sit up there and open the Epstein files, and everybody's applauding for the Democratic Party.
Calm down, Steve. Before you give yourself a hernia, a heart attack or something, and coming in, the Epstein files. So now, even Stephen A. uses a little bit of logic in this particular situation, even though most of the time his logic goes bye-bye. Or he has it, and what happens is he gets bullied, by the right, who wants him to never, ever show any type of logic when it comes down to the Democrats. But once in a while, he does what most common sense people do. They reason and say, this don't make no sense. Why? Why, Stephen?
Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that the Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration.
What? Why didn't they do it then? It wasn't a priority. They didn't get around to it. Huh? Well, I'm sure after Biden dropped out and Trump was running against Kamala, I'm sure while they were still in power, as they were going through everything with a fine-tooth comb to try to figure out how to stop Trump and let Kamala win, I'm sure they was like, you know what would be great? We got that Epstein file with Trump and all of his shenanigans with Epstein. How about this be a perfect time for us to go ahead and do a dump? Drop all that mess out there. Woo, this gonna be an October surprise like you never seen before.
You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then?
Good question.
What am I missing? I'm not saying I know. It's a legitimate question. Maybe I don't remember the answer. Maybe my extraordinary producers should be able to help me during the commercial break. But from my understanding, the same files that were open or being open now with the 220 pages of documents or whatever it is, with various emails, that could have been done when Biden was in office.
Yeah, could have been done when Biden was in office. But my gut tells me there was somebody out there that didn't want those files released then or probably now.
Why didn't you do it? If it's so important now.
Yeah.
What were the Democrats doing at that particular moment in time?
Shenanigans.
See, this is the kind of stuff that smells. Because my attitude is just deducing how much they despise Trump is if there was some real bona fide dirt on him. Since you went after him with the 34 felony convictions, which essentially was deduced to him paying hush money to Stormy Daniels, a porn star, just so she wouldn't reveal their happenings with one another leading up to the election in 2016. Okay? If you had something like that you were willing to parade him through the streets with, of course, if you had something on him about Epstein, you'd have let it go earlier to make sure he didn't become the 47th president.
Bam!
That's just my thinking from a logical perspective.
Me too. That's my thinking from a logical perspective. There it is. See, now if Stephen A., who is still a liberal, could figure that out, you're telling me everybody else can't? You're telling me they didn't have time to tack that on top of all of the felony accounts and all of the impeachments and all of the, crap that they slung at Trump? They're like, oh man, we forgot one. We forgot one important one that could have saved us. One of the biggest ones. Yeah, man, we got Trump out there talking about how Bill Clinton could be in trouble. He's talking about how foul Epstein was. And now we got data that shows that he was actually involved. How could we forget that? Where's our Oppo research people? Why are we paying them? They missed that one? How did they miss that one? That one would have been a dagger in Trump. But out of all the stuff, they forgot that. That's what you're trying to tell me? That right there is the most damning evidence to this whole narrative that you ain't even got to go through all the information. Knowing how the Democrats operate, knowing how much they hate and despise Trump, knowing how much they scrutinize his life, go through everything, trying to find out every talking point, everything they can come up with, knowing just how they've operated these last 12 years. You're telling me that one got by him? You're telling me they overlooked that one? Like, oh man, if we'd have just dropped that one out there, we could have won. We could have turned the tides. And I'm saying, yeah, you think I'm stupid, don't you? So however Trump and them are going to handle this, it is what it is. I hope they put it to bed soon. I really do, because we already know what the intentions are of the Democrats. They're not trying to get to the bottom of this. They don't want the truth. Yeah, they want to use this to create suspicions, make it seem like Trump is hiding something. He's up to stuff, and he really is involved in shenanigans and stuff like that. Dominate the news cycle. But I'm under the opinion of shut them up as soon as you can. When you expose stuff, when you come out and say, okay, here's what's going on, here's what it is. Now, everybody can see there's nothing there. Nothing. Y'all still gonna get on TV talking about, we still what he won't give us this and that, and he could be, and then who knows what that person's name is behind that. And we have, whenever you don't just go ahead and get ahead of it, you leave room for people like that to utilize that as an opportunity to portray some type of, nefarious behavior and stuff like that. And I do get it. We already know what they're up to. So on one end, you're like, well, they're pretending that they want this information, and Trump must be hiding something. That's why we can't get the information. But at the same time, if they get the information and it shows Trump did nothing, then it blows up the whole narrative. They have nothing. They can't get on. He's just doing this to distract from the Epstein files. And he says that everything was distract from the Epstein files. And the reason he's doing this is to distract from the Epstein files. They can't use that anymore, But what they will do, if you don't release that properly, if you don't get ahead of because all the other people who would be listed in that, they don't care about them. They only care about Trump. So if you release it, you got to make sure you get ahead of them when it comes down to them going through it and going, how can we make it seem like Trump might have been mentioned in this or involved in this? How can we make it? You got to get ahead of that. So it leaves nothing but them to be able to focus on the people who actually were involved. Yeah. And now watch them not even want to know about them. Watch that. If it comes out and they get ahead of it and they realize we can't connect Trump to any of this, you think they're going to go, well, we want to go after so-and-so. Bill Clinton was mentioned. Let's go after him. They don't care about any of the rest of the people in that file. They only care about how can we make Trump look like he was involved. Rest of that, because if they cared about the rest of those people, they would have opened that mess up under Biden. They didn't. I didn't hear not one Democrat say we want to get to the bottom of the Epstein files. But now they all want to. Interesting. So I'm here to expose the hoax. God bless you. God bless America. Thanks for kicking it with me tonight. Don't forget, subscribe to my alternative channel. Excuse me, Kevin, yawning and everything. I'm doing a Gizmo. Gizmo does that. He'd be yawning every time I pick him up, put him on the screen. Yeah, he yawns like he's working a third shift job as well. But don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. If you want to support my channel, you can do that through my Cash App, my PayPal link. Thanks for all those who gave in the super chat. I told y'all that I'm dealing with the Help Kevin Get a New Laptop Foundation right now because my laptops blew out. But if you got a chance or can support the channel that way, I appreciate that. Anything you can do. And at the same time, just your presence, your views, good well wishes, that all helps as well. So please follow me on all the other social media platforms. And with that being said, let me get out of here. Yeah, buddy. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Take care. God bless.